Okay, welcome. Today's section is basically we're running a two-session series on overcoming PTSD and panic attacks. So we did panic attack last week. Now we are much more into PTSD part. So we'll go into why, what happens, what is somebody facing having PTSD uh, goes through, where it comes from, and then I've tried to at least curate for you two things. One is giving you resources, and secondly, also giving a pathway from all my understanding of all the work I've been working for now almost 12 years in this work. Uh, Lots of people I've worked individually and in group work, and so kind of understand a bit, and so I give you a pathway, some tools. We will then experience something together and then go into Q&A at the end. Okay, so PTSD. So what happens to people that experience what is termed as PTSD, post-traumatic uh, disorder, stress disorder? Uh, Normally, those are four things that you find often in people. They have difficulty in emotional relationships. Uh, they have disturbances in their relational capacity, so which means how they relate to the different people in different situations and different conditions. There is sometimes there's a dissociation, which means you feel the person is completely not here at all and wants to cut off from almost everything in life. And lastly, but probably one of the most important things is that they are affected by a belief system adversely. Okay, and it can go into any situation where they come from, but there's a very strong inner belief system which affects them and drives everything in their life. And belief system then leads to whatever symptoms and things people show or come up with. So, and this is important to know because if you want to work with somebody or if you are going through this, then knowing where you come from can be important to know where to go. Now, where does it come from? Traumas are at the source of PTSD. Okay, various kinds of traumas could be car accident, losses, date rape, sexual assault, witness somebody treated badly. It creates a huge traumatic, especially in PTSD. Uh, Especially if you're a young child and you see physical or other kind of abuse to another sibling or to one of the parent. This has a this creates this condition. Pandemic, like what we went through, famine, war. So anything, all the extreme traumas can be at the source of PTSD. It could be a single event or it could be multiple events. Uh, Specifically, childhood traumas are at the source of PTSD when as a young kid, which is unprotected and doesn't have any resources or any ability to defend, goes through that, then it creates the situation. Also, legacy burdens, but which are relived in this lifetime. So, if the parent or family comes, for example, from a place of war or famine, and then there is any similar incident in this lifetime, then absolutely the system can create a situation of what we call PTSD. Now, just wanted to make one comment about trauma. Trauma is not the event, it's not the accident, or is not a loss. It's not sexual assault itself, or seeing somebody treated badly, etc. It is the consequence of the event that the impact on the person's life. So what happens as a consequence of an event creates trauma. So in that sense, sometimes two people going through the same kind of event can have very different uh, outcome, because for one person the consequence was different than for the other. So it's not the event that creates trauma, it is the consequence of the event and in personal life that creates trauma. So trauma is a source of all this. Now, some of the challenges. So, what are the challenges that people that face this or are conditioned with this face? Now, one of the key element is a relation. There is a relational violation as a root cause, which means that people have lost trust or they do not feel safe, and this is one of the key issue that the person is feeling. So, so as a consequence, they struggle with closeness, proximity, safety from any form of relationship, any form, is the prime concern inside person system. Okay, uh, they have a perception of not understood or even misunderstood, because from outside everything looks okay, but it is what is going on behind the scene that uh, is the real thing. But they are they feel misunderstood, so they do not trust, they do not feel safe with people. At the same time, they feel misjudged and misunderstood. One of the very common outcome or a safety mechanism in PTSD is addictions. Okay, people get into addiction, all kinds. And addictions are normally looked in the world outside are looked, down always. Uh, and that actually creates further dissociation, because if somebody who went through a huge trauma, and one of the safety mechanism from trauma was to get addicted to, could be alcohol, could be drugs, could be sex, could be anything, whatever is a form of addiction, that addictive part was the only way to keep the person safe and going forward. If it was not for the addiction, they would have collapsed, because that's the place where they feel safe and they feel loved, in that zone. So how can outside world treat something which makes me feel safe badly, is what the addictive part feels. And so they further shrink inwards and further create this boundary with the outside world and cannot trust the outside world. So coming to a session here, if any of you are in that place, is not easy for you, because you have all those walls, inner walls to overcome. Feeling safe, trusting, even a therapist, even me in front of you, you have exactly the same mechanism that comes up. So it's not easy for anybody that has gone through that to come up and get into a place of being worked upon. So one of the key element, and that's why it's very important to do it lovingly and step by step, always, because that building strength in the self is the key, because that inner self has been highly depleted because of whatever happened, and the safety mechanics which keep you a person away from people, doesn't trust, gets into addiction, etc., are all safety mechanisms to keep persons feeling okay and continue. Otherwise, they would basically end their lives. That safety mechanism keeps them away from coming in and taking help. But it's that step by step, little by little, mini steps that one can do to build that inner strength. And as you start to build that inner strength, slowly the system starts to respond. And what I'm going to do is to try and give you a little bit of a pathway. I think this is very important. So classically, when people come in with PTSD, they are, as I said, they are facing relationship with self and others. You have an emotional imbalance, and are adversely affected by the belief systems that could have been created from what they went through. So what they feel typically, they feel stuck. I'm stuck. This is what one of the things they say. And I've tried many things and it doesn't work. But actually they don't feel safe. And some of the emotions that they feel and repeat, dissociation, guilt, shame, grief, anger, anguish. These are some of the inner emotions that could be expressed by people going through that. And what they are looking for is actually two things: freedom to get away from this because they feel it keeps them stuck, and and have a meaningful life, because that's the key. We are here to create that for ourselves. And as we are in this loop, it's difficult to think about meaningful life, but that's what we want to do. So with all the experience and working through, I kind of created this what I call cycle of life 5-step model. Again, it's a repeated process. So you go through step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to basically, and you can always come back to previous steps, is the way I work with people individually and also here. This is exactly what I'm doing. So let me go in a little bit into for the PTSD world. So what does it mean to do? Okay, in terms of steps to do, we always have to start with understanding and releasing traumas because they sit at the base of everything. They are at the root of whatever going on at the when it started, all started, whenever it started, early childhood or from somewhere else. So releasing trauma is to build trust in myself, in the self, which is you. The second, which starts almost in parallel but a little bit later, is to define a purpose in life. Now, this is like, uh, we have the metaphor that if you are in a quicksand, a simple rope can pull you out from that. So you need that rope to pull you out from the quicksand, which is being in the place. So while you can start to work on your traumas, but you need something that will pull you out from that quicksand. So one of the things is creating your North Star, or what I call purpose in life goals, whatever meaning to. And I will put into later on into resources a very simple process. It's not rocket science. It takes 1 hour. I worked with hundreds of people in 1 hour. Everybody wrote their purpose and their thing. So I will give it. It's already defined. Everything is there. It's all written. So I will send it to you. Give it to you. So you should. I would highly recommend everybody which is going through does that. And then you get into this place where actually what you do is you start to build simple daily rituals. Because as you release traumas, you need to put something. It's like you have a living room with a lot of junk, and before to create a new house, you have to clear it. But when you clear it, you need to then put things that you want. So that's why what you can do is start to put uh, small daily rituals. So the idea is to remove barriers, things that hold you back, and create new habits, new things in your life. It could be a new relationship, it could be a job, it could be going after something you want for yourself. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. But that drives you into getting out of the quicksand. And then the fifth step, which comes afterwards, is when you start to give back. This is what I am doing. I've gone through all the steps, and you, by the way, you keep coming back into all of them. You keep circling in back and forth because even 2 days ago, while doing some work on myself, I actually discovered a trauma that I had to release. So you keep going circling back and forth, but very soon you come to a place where you start to give back. I am at point 5. This is why I run this group, is because, but I had to go through all of these phases to come to where I am now. And this is key. And each one of you who is here, and I make that comment, You are here to go to point 0.5 because this is what you want to do. But you have to go through this to be able to come there. So I'm going to give you resources for all these three things, which is there. How to create a purposeless life, cut the traumas we will keep doing. This is what we do here every week. And of course, create new rituals. Simple things to do on a day-to-day basis. Okay, now there are three things which are here, and I'm going to, these are techniques, these are tools that you can use whenever you feel needing of resources. I'm not going to go through this. We ran it last Sunday, and I will put into the WhatsApp each of them. So it's very simple, but these are very powerful technique. Grounding, you lie on the grass, or if you cannot go and lie on the grass, you can just lie down, put your whole body weight and just lie and imagine earth behind you, connect to it and feel the flow between you and the earth. And I will put all the the small video on this into the WhatsApp and the other group so you can just go through it. Okay, don't want to spend time on this. We did it last time. The other one is to create a place of safety. This is very important because this helps you when you get overwhelmed by stuff. You can actually literally put it into a safe place. Okay, just by imagining a container, a soft wall, and you can put your stuff there, and it goes there, and you recover it when you want to work on it in a therapy session, etc. This is very powerful. This comes from EMDR. This is a very powerful tool. And the third one is breathing. So this is coming from Heart Math. It's probably one of the simplest, but another powerful tool that you can bring it into your life whenever and wherever. And again, I'm going to leave them all into the WhatsApp group. I will leave the small meditation we do while doing it so you can run it anytime. It takes literally 3 minutes. You connect to your heart, you breathe a certain way, and then you release. And I highly recommend to use any breathing technique that can work for you. Now, all of this is to help you to bring yourself into a place where you can begin to receive. And the last one I want to give you, this is something some of you here know about this. So, and this is a beautiful tool, actually, that we run, which is called Coherence healing. Now, this comes from basically a group was created uh, for people who know a little bit of Dr. Joe Dispenza. Okay, and I'm going to put the link about this as well, so anybody can book it and receive it. So there's a group which comes together every day, twice a day. Some of you are here, and I know have experienced this and are part of the healers as well. And we work with people with all kind of conditions. And if you are somebody that would love to come and receive healing, you're more than welcome to just come in. It's for free. You can come in and receive. We have now worked over 3 years already. With now, I mean, the last count, this was about a month ago, 2 months ago. Now we have about 13,000 people we worked with. And again, all of these tools that I'm giving you is to help you to move forward, to not to stay stuck. And we don't know what tool works for each one of you. And that's why I just created a simple model because that helps to navigate. And for somebody, it could be this one better. Someone could be heart breathing better. Somebody could be working with grounding better. All of them help you to get unstuck. And of course, being here and experience what you're going to experience is also part of the story. Okay, so just wanted to leave this for you. Now, let's get into a bit of work. Okay. Now I'm going to do a simple exercise with you, and it's probably one of the simplest exercise, but you can take it and use it anytime. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is to think about two choices. Okay, you can stay where you are, which means make no changes, like you're doing now, probably. Okay, or Step out and make important changes you always wanted. Okay, so I will keep it too simple, and I will let your uh, uh, your your inner brain or inner sense work it out for you, and you will just play along with me. So think about choice one is where am I now, and I continue doing as it is. And choice two is I step up. I take some steps towards making changes in my life. Okay. So just close your eyes and be comfortable. And just notice your breath going in and out of your heart. Just notice it. Don't have to do anything else. Just focus on your breathing coming in and out of your heart. And imagine that you took the choice to stay as you're doing now, as is. It's a choice you did. And imagine 6 months have passed and it's December 2022 since you took that choice. So just look into your life and see how things are around you. What's going on? You may see a visual, you may see, or you may hear things. Just observe. And notice as you hear or see that, how do you feel? Just notice your feeling. And imagine 1 year has passed and it's now June 2023 since you took this choice. Look into your life. Look around you. What do you see? What are you telling other people about your life? What do you hear? And notice how you feel. Now imagine 5 years have passed since you took this choice to stay as is. And it is June of 2027. Look into your life. See what you see. And hear what you hear. Either you saying or other people telling you about your life. And notice how you feel. I want you to open your eyes. Wherever you're sitting, just look around, see if there's a tree or a painting. Just look at it. So just look around, open your eyes and look at the tree. If you can see outside the window, just observe it for a few seconds. And now close your eyes and just focus on your breathing. Again. I want you to take this, imagine that you took this other choice, which is you're stepping out and making changes in your life you always wished and wanted. And you chose it. Now imagine 6 months have passed since you took that decision. And it is December 2022. See your life. What's going on? What do you hear yourself telling about your life? How do you feel? Now imagine 1 year has passed and it's now June 2023 since you took that decision. Look into your life. What do you see? What do you hear? And notice how you feel. And imagine 5 years have passed and it's now June of 2027 since you took that decision. Look into your lives. See what you see. Hear what you hear. What are you telling to others? What do you hear yourself saying about your life? And notice how you feel. I just want you to open your eyes, and if you have a piece of paper, just write your observation for yourself. Just see how those two were different, what came up for you, and if you got any insights. So take a moment to notice or take note of the insights while I prepare for the sound. Okay, so we are going to go into sound healing. And the way it works is uh, you can lie down or you can sit in a comfortable position. You will be guided and you will hear tuning fork. Uh, the way it works is that we first start by opening the two centers, one on top of the head, one below the feet, which is the earth center, so connection between the body and the earth. And the second one is the center just above the head, which is connection to the divine, so that this channel gets opened and it's free and it doesn't have any distortions inside. And once we clear it, then we get into the field, which is on both sides of the body. And depending on how the group dynamics is, it'll guide me to work on a certain aspect of the field. And when I work when we go into the field, I will always come back to ask you a question. Well, this is you before birth, at this age, that age, and all you need to do is to remember. If you remember of any event at that time, just go into that place and whatever was the emotion, etc., you just hold it while I work using tuning fork to clear it. Okay? The only thing you will do on top of that is breathing. So the breathing is very specific. So the way you breathe is you take the breath in as if you're bringing in from top of your head into your heart with your nose. And then when you breathe out, you breathe into your feet, into your legs, as if you're breathing into the ground. And sometime when it's very heavy, something is very heavy, I would also say, so release, okay? That's what we're going to do. So just take a moment and think about a wish, an affirmation, something you want for yourself based on what you just saw, what you've understood till now. What would you like as a wish? Take a moment and we will begin. Here we go. So I'm going to start by opening the center below the feet and then continue from there. So now you'll hear the tuning fork. So I'm 1 feet below your feet. So take a breath. Take a breath. Okay, take another breath. I'm going to ground you now. So I'm going to the top of the head and opening the center there. Take a breath. Take another breath. So there's a lot going on the solar plexus. in between solar plexus and okay, so we have opened the channel between the top and the bottom of your feet, so the flow between is good. Now what you're going to do is to work on the center. So the center that came up today is what we call the solar plexus. Now this is the place of what we call self-esteem, personal power, achievement, but one of the biggest issue here that people face is powerlessness and relationship with either mother, and the other side is anger and relationship with father. So the two sides. So the left side is the mother side and the right side is the father side. So I will start with the left side, and I will start from the time of your birth, and whatever starts coming, I will tell you that you are what age. And all you need to do is to just remember, if you have memory or you heard a story and it brings you something, okay? So you just go there and you stay with that, whatever feeling comes up, whatever belief system comes up, or images comes up, whatever comes up, just stay with that and we'll clear it, okay? So I'm going to start. So it's about 5 to 6 feet left of your solar plexus. Okay, so it's already started in the womb. So not yet born. Yeah. So powerlessness. Yeah. So sometime if the mother is going through difficulty or has difficult relation with you, because a baby coming is disrupting her life, she may have those kind of perception. And the thing is that you've picked it up. So I'm just about 3 months before born, so it's still in pregnancy. So I'm going to that place, and all you need to do is to remind her, if anything comes up for you, just stay with that and take a breath. I'm using a different tuning fork to clear it. Take a breath. Okay, so we are at birth now. So now birth for a little baby to arrive is always trauma. There's always trauma. I mean, it's not easy to integrate into the world from a safe place or the mother's womb. There's hospital nurses, there's all kind of things. So the baby normally picks up stuff. So just send blessing to your mother and take a breath. And just connect to her. And connect to the little one coming into the world. Take a breath and release. That helped. Okay, so I'm now at a very young one. Less than 2 years old. Very, very little. So now many of us don't have memories of a 2-year-old. 1.5. It's between 1.5 and 2 years old. If you haven't heard, and if you do have something, just bring it up. If nothing, it's okay. Just stay with it. Holding the little one. Yeah. See if you can hold the little one. And whatever you feel, just bring it into your awareness. Any sensations, anything. So there's a lot going on there. I'm going to use other tuning fork to clear it. Take a breath. Okay, so 24. So see if you can go to that age and if you remember anything. Yeah, very strong. So whatever came up, just bring it in. Notice the sensation, the feeling. This is about 35 or 36, something like that. So see if something comes up. "44. Of course, if you're younger than this, just stay with whatever comes up for you. Okay, so now I'm entering into your mother. So what your mother went through growing up, because everything she went through in her life has an impact on you. You carry her legacy. There's energy in your system. So now I'm at your mother's legacy. So see if you can just send light and love to her. And whatever you hold for her, just see if you can send some light to it. Just understanding that she, like you, also went through things without knowing. If there's any anger, frustration that does come up, just send light to it. Or let the sound dissolve it for you. And take a breath. So I'm going to switch to the father side. So this is on the right side. Again, we'll go through from birth till now. So I'm now at birth now. Just send blessing to your father. And while you're sending blessing to your father, also send holy the little you. in love. Yeah, the same 1.5-year-old here again. So if something came up on the left side, just bring it up, because it's a torus and sometimes it exists on both sides as a field. And it's exactly the same place, 1.5-year-old. So hold the little one again. 1.5-year-old you in place of love. Breathe. Okay, so currently, just go into current time and see what is going on in your life now. Just now. And just send love to whatever you're going through now. However difficult it may be. Whatever challenge you're going through now. Send love to yourself now. So now I'm now in your father's area. So what your father went through in his lifetime, his difficulties, his challenges that are in your field. So send blessing to him and to yourself. Breathe. So whatever has cleared up, I'm just going to release it. Allow it to go. So in order to, whatever changes have been done to continue to process, we'll just close the system, protect it. So the next 48 hours. Whatever changes has to happen will continue to happen. We'll surround the body with a cocoon of 528 hertz. Rest in a comfortable position for a few minutes.